Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. How are you feeling this fantastic morning? I hope that you are enjoying Art and Culture Monday. So far, we have had a couple of things running. Remember, we are having a conversation of the day on your opinion regarding the penalties for damaging the expressway. That is the conversation that we are having. We have a riddle pinned on our Facebook page where we are streaming live right about now. So you're also checking that out. And in this moment, I have my first guest already on set. I told you she came here very early. I am excited to have her. I am impressed by her timekeeping. I am happy that she is already here to make sure that you guys are having a bomb morning. I am talking about none other than Bint Aisha. She is already here in studio. And good morning.
Good morning.
How are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling good.
Are you an early riser or today just happened?
Most of the time an early riser.
Yeah. I am glad. Then you and I same WhatsApp group. We need, because we have to be here. We have to be here to make sure that these things are happening. I want you to say hello to guys at home. Just tell us who you are, what it is that you do. Alafu we begin.
Hello guys, good morning from wherever you are. I hope you're good. My name is Aisha Mohammed, aka Bint Aisha. I am a blogger, a vlogger, a writer, an author. I am an activist. I am a project coordinator, a community worker, and a research assistant, with much more. But for now, let me just give you that.
Yeah, that is in brief of the many things that she is. But I am usually elated to have such type of guests. They are not just doing one thing, they are doing many things, and they are doing them well. So Aisha, I do not know even where to start. Which one of the hats did you wear first? Were you first a poet, a blogger, a vlogger? Which one did you begin or start with?
I was a writer.
You are a writer.
Back in primary, I was a songwriter.
Yes.
As much as it shocks people. I used to love writing songs.
Yes.
And singing them at that point. And then I finished primary, got to high school, and I started getting slowly seduced by poetry, let's say, and getting drawn into it.
Yeah.
And slowly I switched into that.
Yeah.
And I started writing a novel back in Form 3. And I remember before finishing high school, people are like, you will not finish before you finish the book.
Yeah.
And still, I think that was the first hat I wore, writing. Yeah.
So did you end up finishing the book before clearing high school?
Actually, no.
So as predicted, but did you end up finishing the book after?
The book was stolen when I was in, I think, second year of uni.
Yeah.
The book was stolen, so I haven't pretty much gone back to finishing it, but I still have the plot in my head.
Exactly.
I haven't forgotten it.
Yeah, you were the writer, so even if they steal the material, you can still get back and write another one, just like you have done, because you've done an entire, different book from that one. So maybe you learned a couple of things from the first, from the first draft. Atakama, I didn't see the light of day. Yeah. At least you did have it. Yeah. So you got into uni, and after that draft was stolen, when did you start writing the other one? You finished around what time did you start writing the book?
I didn't have the idea of writing a book because I was avoiding it as much as possible. I had a lot of my friends whom I was pushing to publish, but I was just on the back bench.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in a hurry, I'm a young girl, what's the point?
Yeah.
And 2020, I'm in an organization called Rafinki. It's Friends Joined by Art.
Yes.
And they had a call of submission for all poets. They were doing an anthology of poetry. They were going to publish it. Yeah. And I submitted my poetry, and then I forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then one of the officials texted me, I think in September, to tell me to send my biography.
Yeah.
And I honestly thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
So I sent one sentence
of a biography.
Yes. I said I am Aisha Mohammed, a student of life and much more.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Until date, if you go and read the book, you'd see that while people sent paragraphs and I just sent one.
Yeah.
But the idea of that sentence is people will now be interested in knowing what's the much more there.
Yeah.
And afterwards, after that, I think that was a sign from destiny.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a slap to the face.
Yeah.
When the book came out, it was in 2021 May.
Yeah.
And I did a launch of the book and a book signing in Isli. And a lot of my friends were like, since now one of your poems is published, how about you do your own anthology? And it didn't quite hit me at that point until June, when I think at that point I was going through a lot of mental health issues, because I had been having a lot of pressure as a young girl. I was going through an identity crisis, and now people are telling you poetry is not a thing, it's not a career, you are a girl, you can do a lot more. And my heart is settled into writing. And so I decided to write a book, write about all the things that are shackling us and just give it freedom.
Yes, I like that. Just before we jump into the book, because I feel there is a lot to discuss and say about the book. I want us to get to one piece of poetry, or a poem piece, because you are a poetry after all. I want us to get one poem from you, alafu we proceed to the discussion into poetry and into the book writing.
Okay. Yes. I'm going to just give you, I'm going to perform, then give you a brief of why the poem is what it is. Weak, that's what you are. Sad, that's who you are. Fake, that's what you're made of. Pain, that's what you're made for. Tears, that's what will come. For you are nothing and will always be nothing. Your life was made for us to break, trash, and take. You are nothing but a slave, a mere object, a puppet. You will live to be used, broken, and in pain. That's what you're made for. Weak, that's what you are. Sad, that's who you are. Fake, that's what you're made of. Pain, that's what you're made for. Tears, that's what will come. Love will be foreign to you. Men will only want you for a season. They will not love you. They will want you. You will be the bridge to getting their soulmate. You will watch them fall for them while they fall for the ones that are meant for them. Love will never love you back, for you were chosen by pain as its subject. Weak, that's what you are. Sad, that's who you are. Fake, that's what you're made of. Pain, that's what you're made for. Tears, that's what will come.
Amazing. So, okay, all right. now we have just been taken to another corner. Why that piece?
I'm an activism at heart, and this piece I wrote it after I listened to conversations with women about the amount of things people feed them in their head.
Yes.
And I noticed how much negativity surrounds women. How they'd be told that you will not be wanted if you don't do this. You are just weak. You are not... A lot of things that are most of the time said to women. And then I had... let's say a confrontation or a discussion with different women who've been in abuse of all kinds. And I decided to write from everything they've gotten, every negative that has been thrown to them. I decided, why not? Let me just show the world that this is the things most or some of the women in the world get.
Exactly.
And they still move from it. They still carry the burdens on their shoulders, the shackles, because these words do a lot of pain. They do a lot of damage to them.
True. I couldn't agree more. I think someone needs to speak exactly on the ugly that happens, because the repercussions of hearing those words is not exactly the best. I want us to take a step back kidogo. Before you performed the piece, we talked about Rafinki. And Rafinki are not new to us. They are friends of art and culture. Monday, I'm actually happy that you are here, and you have a partnership with Rafinki. You guys are doing an amazing job. We salute you this morning. Working with ladies like Bint Aisha, you are definitely getting messages out there that we wouldn't otherwise get to hear. Probably just Aisha would know what is happening and we wouldn't have a clue of it. But so thank you very much. So after you wrote the anthology with Rafinki, now did that like kind of open up you writing more pieces, or how did it affect you in a positive way having partnered with them?
It opened me to a lot of opportunities. One, it made me understand that poetry does not, most of the times, people think poetry is just a bunch of words just put together and that's it. But poetry has more to it than that.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of activism, and I wanted people to see the pain that is in the ugly side of all the things that are going wrong in the society.
Yeah.
And I said, Rafinki has been the family that has been pushing me to grow, to do what I love. And afterwards, the people who loved and supported me now were pushing me to, we need yours. And my activism career, and I was like, why not? I want a book that I can do where I can give people, this is what is happening, guys. These are the effects of 1, 2, 3, and these are the impacts of 1, 2, 3. And I did.
Exactly.
I finally did write a book called Freedom.
Exactly. Amazing. Let's get into that, because I feel like we are there now.
Yeah.
One, why the title Freedom?
There are so many things we need freedom from. And this, for me, was a freedom for me. Because I think a lot of things in the society took an impact on me.
Yeah.
And I was closely related to someone who went through gender-based violence, a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I decided, now, my activism is most of the time, people don't understand the people who are activists. These things hit them too.
Yeah.
And it shackles them in some way. And I wanted to do a book called Freedom, so that the shackles that are holding on to our feet, to our hands, that are making us not get what we want, I wanted to show people that we can break free from them.
Yeah.
Hence, freedom.
Exactly. Wow, amazing. I love that. So what are some of the things that you specifically talk about in the book that is Freedom? Of course, we've gotten one that is gender-based violence. What are some of the other things that you have written that you think that people or you need freedom to?
There is rape, there is heartbreak, there is love, there is childhood trauma. And I'm very insistent on childhood trauma because we don't give it much importance. On depression, anxiety, mental health in all its scope, friendships and how they affect our lives. And I think mostly it's just the tribulations we go through every day, but on what side? How are we going to take them?
Yes. How did you go about them? Because I'm thinking some of these topics each topic could have a million books. Just pick rape specifically. For example, you could write a gazillion books on rape. So how was your approach, or what is the message that at the end of the day, when someone is closing the book that is Freedom, by the time they are done reading, how did you approach it, and what did you want the reader to get from it per se?
I wanted to do every aspect of life, from childbirth, the things that are happening around that time. How can they impact people's lives? How is depression linked to your normal life? How is anxiety linked to your normal life? How is love and heartbreak linked to your normal life? How is rape linked to your normal life? And how is gender-based violence? I'm taking you through the possibilities of the things that are happening in the society, but also what can be happening to you as a youth, as a woman, as a man, as a young child. At the end of the day, what you go through from this book is, these are everything that you can go through in life.
Yes.
This is me giving you the real thing and letting you decide from there, what exactly am I going to take home from it?
Yes, exactly. Then the next question would be, how do you deal with the psychological and emotional toil that comes from hearing these stories? Because I believe that if not all of them have happened to you, of course, but you get to hear, as an activist, you get to interact like on a daily with people who have gone through gender-based violence, people who have gone through rape, people who are depressed, and that must have a psychological or emotional impact on you. How do you deal with that?
Well, it takes a lot. And I believe most of the people don't give importance on it. Takes a lot.
Yes.
As much as I'm championing for mental health, sometimes it hits me a lot. And on the days that I feel like everything is just too much, I have a me-to-me time. I kind of just push everything away for a bit and take time to get rid of everything that has been in my heart, that is in my mind, that is in most of the time. Some days it's hectic, your schedule is hectic. You have poetry, you have your own studying, you have activism, you have blogging, and it gets a lot hard to get your own time. So at the end of the day, or before starting your day, or after finishing your day, you do something called meditation. It really helps. It's just giving your mind, accepting that these things have happened, you've gone through them, but you need to let them go too.
Exactly. Also, now that you do a lot of writing, blogging, is that some of the ways that you use to actually process some of these emotions that come with everything that you are doing?
In terms of blogging, I basically do on emotion. I believe we do not put importance on how emotion is very important to us. And I draw up different scenarios in poetry, in short stories, and I give them to you so that you can feel and understand. These are my emotions. There's heartbreak, there's love, there's anger, there's all sorts of emotions. I have to accept that I have them, and I have to accept that I am a human being that goes through them. And I have to understand how to deal with them. So when it comes to blogging, is I want to hold your hand through processing different things, but not by easily telling you the answer, but by pushing you through a scenario where you will understand on your own, and you would feel, and you would later on, it will hit you slowly, and this is how you're going to let it go. This is how you're going to deal with it.
Yes. I love that process. I feel the process is way better than just what's your problem, here is the solution. I like that. I want us to get into a second piece before we go deeper into our conversation of the day. You can probably tell me what inspired the next piece, and then perform it.
This piece is for all the women who've gone through cheatings, beatings, and they've lost their dignity on the way.
Okay.
And we were having a conversation about how cheating is normal and beating a woman is kind of the normal thing. So I decided I'm gonna write on it, and at the end of the poem, I'm going to link it with a message to the daughters, to us women. I understand our male counterparts will feel left out, but this is what I do. I am very passionate about women, and I want to hold their hands through what they've gone through.
Exactly.
And also teach these young girls coming up to own their bodies, to own their voices, to own their confidence, their self-esteem. This one goes out to all the victims of cheatings and beatings. Funny how cheatings and beatings start the same. Starts with an, oh, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry, baby. To a slap and a hit and another girl in the mix. Then now you get it was an accident. I swear, baby, I met her by coincidence. To kicks and blows, and then she was a hoe. She came at me. Next is a trip to the hospital concealed by dates and chocolates and flowers. Then starts the disappearing acts for hours. Then it's your fault. Why you gotta provoke me like that or be rude to me? Next is the use of force and romantic dates with others. Then now it's divorce. And of course it's her fault. So in the end, both cheating and beating start and end the same, either in a hospital physically broken and bruised or mentally broken and used. So dear daughter, remember this when a man lowers your dignity. You are infinity incarnate. You are endless in existence. Your beauty is ever flowing like a waterfall. Your strength is like the wind. It's calm and it can destroy. Your kindness shines on rainy days like rainbow, and your words, once said, pierce like an arrow. Your heart speaks of love, for love has found home in you, and one never lacks words on their home. Your soul is poetry yet to be written. It draws writers of all kind. Your hands are the hope of the future, holding the dreams and desires of future leaders. Your aura speaks of confidence and courage, so when a man makes you feel inferior, remember who you are. A queen with her throne, and you are complete as you are. So be respectful in your speech, be kind with your deeds, and be smart while you read, and that will always make you complete. Yes, that.
Oh, okay. We need a second, just one. Just to breathe in, relate to your words. A quick one. Is there a piece of poetry in the book that you have written, Freedom?
Pardon?
Is there a piece of poetry or is there a poem in the book that you have written?
Freedom is a compilation of poetry.
I feel like some of these poems that you are performing in the book.
Yes.
Because I feel like they need a second read. Like someone just needs to sit down and just take in that entire sentence because it is heavy. Yes. There are the types of poems that you need to read over and over and over again, and if this is not motivation enough for you guys to get a copy of the book that is Freedom, I do not know what is. Where else will you hear such pieces of poems, such pieces of poetry? And I think what is unique about poetry, having interviewed many poets on this set, is that everyone has a very unique way of writing or of expressing themselves, because it's just English, like it's just normal everyday words, but someone will put it in a message that will touch your heart. And I think that is what makes me love poetry. Even yes, that is where the magic is at. I want us to talk a bit about religion and the activism that you do and the poet that you are, because I think of the moments or of the times that I have been here interviewing poets day in, day out, you're my first Muslim poet. I like that. Number one, I feel very accomplished. But I want to ask, how does religion come into play as far as your poetry or activism is concerned? In what way does it affect you, and is it negative or positive or both? Yes.
There's a difference between culture and religion most of the times, and most people are they have come into contact with the culture, not the religion itself.
Okay.
So people tend to confuse the culture that is there and the religion.
Yes.
Islamic religion does not affect my activism in any way.
Yes.
And it also does not permit women to be abused in any sort of way.
Exactly.
And so it does not necessarily bring me down negatively.
Yes.
It just it gives me the space to speak on issues that my religion advocates for.
Yeah.
And but people are so used to culture that they think they confuse the two.
That culture is religion.
So most of the time, they will get to meet people who are culture.
Yes.
That word. They are ignorant in terms of accepting that the religion does not allow and allows.
Yes.
You get?
Yeah.
And my religion kindly accepts me to do my poetry and the idea of activism, because it advocates for women.
For the things that you are actually advocating
exactly.
for. Then I think my question would be then, how does culture affect your activism or you as a poet?
Culture affects my activism in a negative manner because this brings me back to a story. A friend of mine called me, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and now someone read my book.
Yeah.
You know how you peruse through someone's book and you don't know the writer?
Yes.
Someone did that, and then they saw it's a woman who wrote it. And they took back the compliments of the poems being good and being awesome. And they're like, how can a woman write this? How can a woman be this good with English? Where did she learn it from? And I didn't take it. I didn't take it negatively. I know women were infuriated. They're like, why are you not taking it negatively? I took it as a compliment that I made him feel threatened.
Yeah.
And there's that idea of, if you're a woman and you're doing something good out there, if a man feels threatened by your existence, then it's up to him. It's none of your business. the idea of, we've brought this thing of women are trash, men are trash. You get the idea of whole gender wars have come up with.
Yes.
People can't accept that we need each other to survive.
Exactly.
I decided, you know what, people need to teach each other with kindness.
Yes.
So I took up the role of being a kindness ambassador. Of I'd rather not have both of our genders fighting. I'd rather us we be honest with each other.
Yeah.
This is my failure and this is my failure. This is my strength and this is my weakness.
Yeah.
Instead of calling each other names, at the end of the day, we're not helping.
Because
So-
this is not an argument of good and bad.
Yes.
I hope people get that.
Yes, and so culture, most of the time you get I'm fighting against FGM, early marriage, rape, these issues of gender-based violence. So you got some men who think that it's not okay for a woman to do this, who will be very vocal with you.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it might chip away your energy or chip away your self-esteem.
Exactly.
And so it's a bit hard, but I'm here. I have survived it,
Yeah.
and I'm still going to. I'm still going to show the young girls that they honestly need to speak up. If something is wrong in the society, then use your voice. Use whatever that you are capable of using to just say it's wrong, and people need to leave it. So
Amazing. I like that, because that can be a main challenge, especially for creative, just in general. It's not very easy to create in an harsh environment, in an environment where someone who has never written 2 sentences of poetry, man or woman, is very vocal about what you are doing. Not that they are doing it, because there is compliments and complaints of someone who has been doing something, but it's very hard to take them from someone who is basically not doing anything to the society or adding any value in accordance to what you are doing, being very vocal about what you're doing. But I hope that you are coping, because you are here. Otherwise, you would not be here. So I hope young girls and young ladies watching can learn that this is doable despite the environment. It is doable despite the environment. You can be whoever you want to be if you put your mind to it. I want us to talk about Kabila la Vijana just kidogo too, because I believe there are young girls and young boys who would like to join or who would like to know what is this about. And you're the deputy president at Kabila la Vijana. I just wanted you to take us through what Kabila la Vijana does in a few words, and how people who are watching right now, young people who are watching, can actually get to benefit.
Kabila la Vijana is a youth-led organization that started up with the idea of breaking the bonds of tribes between the youths of Kenya, the world, and the world. We've been so much torn apart by the geological differences, the race and the tribes, that we do not work together as youths at all. And we as youths have a lot of things to teach each other and to learn from each other. So we decided to rise up as youths and say, you know what, we are building our own tribe that has no tribe, that has no race, that has no geological difference, that all together at the end of the day we're just Kabila la Vijana.
Yes.
And we started in Kenya. It's a nationwide organization that speaks about giving youth opportunities in terms of political, economics, socially, and giving the youth a chance to actually do something different in the community.
Yeah.
And currently we are just advocating for peace in terms of the elections that are coming up.
Yes.
And calling on to all youths in Kenya to, right now it's the time to actually understand that you and your mother, at the end of the day, if you go outside there to go and fight for someone who is in their house comfortably sitting while you have your 500 in your pocket and you die, your mother will be the one who will be in pain. Your parents, your relatives, and your village.
Yeah.
And you know how hard that is. So we are just trying to bring out that youths are much more than people think. They are just about drugs, partying, and we're not. Youths are not about that. So we are just trying to change the stories about youths.
Exactly. I like that. I wanted to ask about that specifically because we know our elections are just around the corner, and so much awareness. We need to raise so much awareness on the youth, and the fact that they are to use your words, they are made of so much more. Like, we can be able to accomplish so much more. We can be able to give this society so much more than just parties. I hope that young people who are watching can listen to this and heed to your words, because they are important, and this will be important after August, and you will still have your mom, you will still have your dad. If you leave them grieving, they will be the one bearing the pain of your departure, or your neighbor will still be your neighbor, so after all is said and done, your life will be just as it is right now.
Yeah.
So choose wisely. I hope that message has gone to the youth. I want us to get back to the book as we finalize on this interview. And how much is the book selling for?
The book goes for 1,000 Kenyan shillings,
Yes.
and there are only 13 copies left.
Yeah.
I only produced 100 copies.
Yeah.
I wanted to do major work on awareness in terms of a lot of issues that are rising against women, rising against young boys, young girls. And I did 100 copies, and I was like, for this 100 copies majorly, let me see how the field goes, how the awareness would go, and how the activism will go with me. And now I only have 13 copies left.
Are you planning on publishing any more of this?
Yes, I am going to publish as long as I'm alive. I would probably.
But I like that. I like that because I would rather have just a few copies remaining than a whole library of books unread, because I think because why you're producing the book, therefore the how becomes very easy. So guys, as of now, because now when these 13 copies are gone, you will have to wait some time at least to get her and to give her the time to publish. So there are only 13 copies remaining. I'd love your messages pale Facebook, just request for a copy. It's just 1,000 bob, or on 0739110544, or later when she gives us her social media handles, kindly reach to her, get your copy of Freedom, and you are going to be enjoying it. I tell you, have you listened to the pieces that she has just performed? I've just listened to 2, and I'm convinced already that I need a book, because I need a book and a highlighter to go and highlight those sentences that are very personal to me. So kindly just get to Bint Aisha and get copies. They're just 13, and I know more than 13 of you are definitely watching. So could you please get a copy from Aisha, and you are going to be loving it. Apart from this book, I know you're doing a lot of activism, but is there another book in the pipeline? Are there poetry pieces that you're writing that you're hoping you'd compile to a book sometimes later, maybe later this year or next year?
I'm currently working on a short story book. I believe there's so many scenarios that need to be put out, and that can only happen if people read through it. Short stories, I like short stories because people will tell you when you write novels, that's too long. And I want to hit where it hurts most. Sorry if I'm going to say this, but where it hurts most is where our ignorance is, our ego lies, and where we tend to close our eyes on them. So now I'm going to force open the eyes, and that's why I want to continue more. On poetry, I'm focusing now on performances, but for books, of course, definitely more in the future. You will keep publishing them. I like that. Let us go back to a little bit of the other hats that you wear. You are also a blogger. What do you write about there? Blogging is different. I blog on short stories, different poems that mostly create impact on mental health awareness, mostly on the dilemmas that are facing us. I know a lot of people will be like, you're a young girl, what do you know? But trust me, there's so many things in this world we're closing our eyes to. And if you only were opening your eyes to these things, then we could solve them instead of fighting against each other.
Exactly.
And for that to happen, maybe you just need to read and get so involved in the reading that you'd know how it feels.
Exactly.
From that
I
point.
mean, this information is everywhere. Like, my age has nothing to do with the information I can be able to gather, if only I have the right sources. I believe for anyone saying you're too young or where do you get this information from, information is power. So if you have a way of getting it, then you are powerful. How often do you blog, and what is the name of your blog?
My blog is called Perfectly Imperfect. And the reason why I choose this is because I've met a lot of young girls saying their self-esteem is so much broken because their body is not this type or that type or somehow whatever type the people think it's necessary for them to. And then I met the idea of bleaching skins. And for me, a lot of people have approached me with the idea, why don't you bleach your skin? Because it's rampant in the Somali community. And I keep on telling people my skin is gold. And you don't bleach gold. Yes, you don't tamper with. Exactly.
I like that.
And Perfectly Imperfect is to tell young women you're perfectly imperfect. With your flaws, you're perfect. Your imperfections are perfect. You have to accept yourself before the society accepts you. And I blog. Most of the times I like to blog once per week, but if I do not get the time, I blog twice in a month. I make sure that in that month, something that must have happened in my life that has given me inspiration. So I craft something that would take you through the emotions so that you can understand it from your own perspective. Yes,
exactly. I love that. So at least you are expecting at least 2 pieces from Aisha in a month, and I think that is pretty good. So you can have 4 in a good month or 2 in a month where she has been busy. So but I think that is enough. That is good enough to subscribe and stick around and stay there. Your vlog, where do you vlog? Do you have a YouTube channel? What is it called, or how do you get your vlogging content out there?
I've put a pause a little bit on the vlogging part. I started a mental health series called Are You Mentally Aware on Instagram. Basically, it is just to show people that these are the things that are going on for mental health, to create awareness on mental health. Because a lot of people have very prejudiced ideas on what mental health is. What are the diseases that are going on? And a lot of kids are going through these issues, but since we are not interested in looking for them, we tend to give them the blind eye. So on YouTube, it's Aisha Mohammed. Again, it's on mental health issues that are coming up right now. I just vlog on that, but I put a pause on it until, let's say, I get the resources that I need for it to continue.
Exactly. I like that. So just all you need to do is get Aisha's social media handles, follow her through and through, and you will know when she's ready to get back to vlogging. But right now you have a blog that is up and running, so you can get to that in a bit. I wanted us to talk about Are You Mentally Aware, and for you to comment on mental health, because that is another broad issue. But just what do you tackle in the Instagram one? I think that doing an Instagram series was a very creative way of getting mental health issues discussed over there. But what exactly is your take, or what is the package that you prepare for people on Are You Mentally Aware?
Basically, it's spreading hope and positivity, 1. 2 is telling you, are you mentally aware on these issues? For people tend to think or romanticize the idea of depression, but they don't know how deep depression goes. Have we talked enough about suicidal thoughts? How are we tackling it? Because right now we are losing so many people to suicide, and the only thing we come to say afterwards is, oh my God, I didn't know. But did they leave hints for us to find out?
Exactly.
Did they reach out, and were we stonewalling them? And ideas on anxiety, depression, and I want to talk to more the experts on the psychology part, so that I can get them to teach people more on the diseases that are there, schizophrenia, those ideas that are there. I want them to be brought out to the world.
So basically giving information, and we have said over and over again, information is power. So if you are aware of what happens, if you're aware of the symptoms of someone who is not doing fine mentally, if you are aware, very keenly aware of someone who's going through depression, then it is highly unlikely that you will say, I didn't know, or I didn't hear, yes, or I didn't know what to do when they told me this. So I think that's serious. You can definitely go out there and check Aisha's Instagram series on Are You Mentally Aware? That the page is called Are You Mentally Aware?
No, the Instagram series is currently on my Instagram. It's run from my Instagram.
Yes.
I didn't want to open a new Instagram. I was like, I'm going to personally run this because it's my project.
Yeah.
And then I took down all the videos that were there. I was like, I'm going to reintroduce a new aspect of how do we communicate with people, positivity and kindness. Because right now we are not kind to people, man. So
then I think at this juncture I'd like you to give us your social media handles, guys. Listen in keenly because you will need this.
On Instagram it's _bint_Aisha66. On Facebook it's Bint Aisha. On Twitter it is Princess Mulan 10.
Okay. Can you could repeat one more time for us to pack it in?
On Instagram it's _bint_Aisha66. On Facebook it's Bint Aisha. On Twitter it is Princess Mulan 10.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have gotten it. The Insta handle is _bint_Aisha66. At least you can, from there you can get your way to Facebook, to Twitter. So just get one, okay? And YouTube. I want to get to some of the comments here because there are many, Aisha. Someone, let's see where we stopped at. Someone else is saying, Wendy Marion is saying, good morning, Karen. Enjoying the show, tuned in from Kitengela. Thank you so much, Wendy. You are most welcome. I hope you're learning a thing or two. The poet Ranks is saying, Aisha usikose kunipea shout out ama nitakudivorce. Where there are threats over here. I also brought my plate so that you could serve me poetry, and she is doing it so well, and she he's also saying you are endless in existence. Like, he loved that line. I told you, this Aisha's book, you need a highlighter so that you can just go and highlight those things that are getting to your heart. Also okay, the poet Ranks amecamp hapo kwa comment section ya Facebook. He's also saying your soul is poetry yet to be written. I couldn't agree more. The Queen went savage on that topic. I agree. The lines on Aisha's poems are zinaweza. Mtoto wa Mariam Ojoang, our TBT master, is saying Aisha is one of the top poets in Rafinki. Her art touches hearts, and I like that. I thought that you should be able to hear. And one of the things I actually think we can do about poets is being vocal about how good they are, as we are vocal about how, about other things. Buy these books, attend shows, buy albums, buy their books, listen, take a listen to their podcasts, listen to their, read their blogs, subscribe to their YouTube channels. Like, just as we are vocal about other things, can we be vocal about how good they are? Because we have amazing poets in Kenya. I wish you guys knew. I want you, before your one last performance, just tell us a few final words. As an activist in general, what is the one thing you'd like to tell people out there? People on social media. There's a lot going on. Just pick one line of thought and what you would like to leave people to, to remember Bint Aisha by.
The first one I would leave with you is, please be kind to people.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about being kind by your actions. Your words do. Words do tend to leave a very huge impact on people's lives. And if you're just kind to them, then you'd know how that is.
Exactly.
2 is, if at all you're going through something, please do reach out. There are people who are going to help you. And if people are not willing to help you, then reach out to me. We will try and solve it. Instead of ending your life, that's much better than going away. We don't want you dead. And again, to the youths, you have so much you can do. I know people will tell you you're too young for it. Life yeah, life yako bado hujajua vitu mob. But no, you don't have to wait for you to be old and grey to know a lot of things. You are as you are, you're important and you're worthy. And the last, if at all you have any good work you want to work with me, I am here, I'm available. I want to work with as many organizations in Kenya, NGOs, especially targeting the teens and the kids. Kwa sababu the kids, we are leaving the kids to be how they want to be. We are talking to kids however we want, and kids are being broken by that. And the teens, they don't have anyone to talk to. When you go into your bigger brother takwambia jisote, hiyo ni kitu wenye unaweza jitafutia wewe mwenyewe. So we don't hold hands, we don't hold their hands. And if at all you have a younger brother or a sister, please be kind to them and make sure what you do to them is what you would want to be done unto you.
Exactly.
That is
I like that. And let's not forget that it is these kids and these teens that become youth. So yes, if we sort their issues when they are way younger, we will not have to deal with youths who have a lot of issues. I want to give Aisha the chance to perform one more performance even as we close our lounge number 1. So Aisha, this is your time.
Okay, since we celebrated Mother's Day, I want to dedicate this to all African daughters, and I believe our mothers are African daughters too. This is from Freedom Now. Dear African daughter, do not lower your head, for your ancestors fought for you. Their blood runs in the ground you step in. Their sweat nourished the plants that nourish you. Their backs resembled the battleground, but they held their head high. Their bodies were laid in the ground as a doormat too many times, but they held their head high. Do not let society tell you about you. You have our grace in your blood, our beauty in your existence, our beauty in your color, our strength in your existence. So when you walk, hold your head high and own your roots. Spread them with each step you take. Flower the world with your words. Let our love trickle down with you as our storage. Carry our history like a crown chosen for you by the land you live in. So dear African daughter, raise your head. Let your resilience be as powerful as our rebellion. For our rebellion brought you freedom, the same freedom that carries your livelihood. This livelihood that's molded by your hands. So raise your head and let that audacity spread.
How amazing was Bint Aisha though? She is packed. She is packed with information and knowledge and power and articulation. I love everything. I love your guys' comments on her, on her work. Please follow her on Instagram at _Bint_Aisha66. You will be loving the content that she is about to drop your way, okay? You'll be loving it. Purchase her books. You say this is the way to support our own poets. Purchase their books, watch their vlogs, subscribe to their blogs, read them, and enjoy, because they are putting in a lot of work to be able to give you this kind of amazing content. For now though, we want to take a very short break. When we come back, we are going to be having our second guest of the day, because she is already here. Her name is McKenna or Kenna. She is already here, and I cannot wait. I'm excited for that one. We are about to hear some crazy vocals, so stick around, okay? Art and Culture Monday is here to make sure that we have started your morning all the way up to 10 a.m. Now, if you're not awake by 10, now we don't know what to do with you, so we are trying to keep you up and about and ready to do this. So let's take a very short break. We will be back in just a moment.